I've had with anybody to try and organise things. But even if you look at, say, the population in Hookles, it's nearly 200 people now.
Yeah.
When that's finished, it'll be nearly 300 people. That's not counting maybe 35 houses that I know have pledged. That's actually bigger than the population of the village.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Plus, from Hookles, especially with transport, it's a 40-minute walk for anyone to go to the nearest shop, nearest post office. Like one of the requests we got was, can we get rain jackets, can we get umbrellas? The local service has been very good to us, and there's been a lot of work done to try and organise buses and whatnot, but we need more. Like, I mean, there's volunteers driving, but we want to integrate people for the long term. Anyone that wants to stay long term, they should be welcome to the community, they should be able to stay here. You know, and there's been great work done, but it's happening so fast that, like, it's just, as everybody said, you nearly get overwhelmed with it.
Yes.
You won't stop.
That's
everyone
the exact
will work.
word.
Everyone will work hard to get it.
Yeah.
But it's to get the key things in, like well, in Hookles, definitely the transport is a massive issue. Population growth, like, it's actually nearly doubling the village, which is fabulous, because we can mix interculturally. Like, I mean, my other half's from Lithuania, she relates totally to what's happening in Ukraine. So, I mean, it's just to get the information out quicker, to get the help quicker. But I couldn't compliment the people at Enid and SciCap, the people we've been working with, have been fantastic, been really, really good, you know.
No, and like, I would compliment SciCap as well. It's a programme we fund under our own department, and we've kind of loosened up the expenditure guidelines in terms of what you can spend your money on, but we know that you've been...
The time, Minister.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go back time again because I'm really
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
This
yeah.
is Elaine
Thank you for that.
and Artem, who live here in the Danby, both from Odessa, which never met each other before. So,
hello, my name is Elena, and I would like to ask you some questions.
Sure.
And first of all, to start my speech with, I need to say from all of us, great thanks that you accept us in your country, in Ireland. We are really pleased that we are here and how you treat us, that you give us all these conditions, these amazing conditions for living, and you help us in all ways possible, so we feel here safe and comfortable.
Well, you're very welcome, and we're very happy to help you in this time of need. What's happening in your country is shocking, so we're very happy to stand in solidarity with you.
And I was picking information from different people, and in order to be honest, however, a lot of people are unable to speak English, around 90%. Right now, we are here for 2 weeks, and the people are curious about English courses. Is it possible to organize English courses for us?
Yeah, no, that's certainly a need that's come up across the country, I think, and we do have various organisations like Fáilte Stock. I think that we need to support more to do that in terms of conversation in English at least, but no, I take your point, and I think the education and training boards as well, who hopefully are a part of that community response for it, have a key role to play in that regard too, I think.
In my case, I'm not here like alone, but I have friends from my university as well, and friends who came here like earlier, and we'll also trying to find some straightforward process to apply for university, to maybe find some scholarships or some, something that will help, to enter university, because studying process was, stopped, like, kind of, nobody was waiting for that. I mean, everybody wants to know how to continue their studying here and which options we have, like Ukrainians here as well. So
and I think we'd be very eager to facilitate people. I know Minister Harris as well is eager to open up opportunities to Ukrainian people who want to study here as well, and I'll certainly bring that back to him today as well. It's something that I'm hearing.
Yeah, for now also we have met representatives from TUS organization, and we are very grateful for them, because all children under 18, they received their invitation for schools, and they're quite happy. They were accepted quite well, welcomed. So thank you for that, and I'm joining Elena, and really thankful for everything we have from airport till here. We we have found lots of support, and the more we receive that, the more we want to give back. Organizing people, me and Lena, she really helping me to these chats, organizing communication, like locally, but it's also important, and we really thankful that we are always receiving this support, and it's in time, always in time. I think.
Great. Well, that's really good to hear as well. I'd steer you towards the volunteer centre as well if you're interested in getting involved in volunteering.
I gave it my number because I'm kind of translating and helping with that. So.
Great.
So-
Thank you very much.
On one hand, this is the English courses which we are interested in. On other hand, it's the process how we are going to stay here for how long. We don't know the conditions, and we don't know our rights. And as far as I mentioned, people don't speak English, and they are unaware to whom they can contact to receive this information. A lot of people want to work, and here are some organizations they can work in, but they don't know since they start working, but they will lose their living place where they stay right now.
No, and just to be clear, in terms of your rights are the same as any EU citizens in Ireland as well. So your right to work and so on is totally open. You can work wherever you get the opportunity.
But that's good. And what about the place where we stay? Because we don't know how to get to rent an apartment, for example, and with all other conditions afterwards.
The accommodation will remain open and available for you as well, when you're in that process, when you're looking for work as well. People may be moved. Some setups are temporary, or government is planning medium and long-term options as well. But I can't give anyone a guarantee that they're going to be in temporary accommodation for a very long period of time, unfortunately.
And are you aware, while we're staying here, for how long we are going to stay here?
I wish I could give you a straight answer to that, because there are hundreds of people coming in every day as well, and we're trying to, I suppose, source temporary accommodation for them, while at the same time planning some medium and long-term options. And we're also processing pledges from members of the public and private homes who've offered rooms in their homes or discrete buildings as well, and hopefully we'll have everyone on that list contacted by the end of next week, so there should be some options come out of that as well. So it's all very fluid and flexible at the moment on that side of things. I wish I could give you more certainty, but that's the reality of where we are at the moment.
Organizations that might provide us the living, but how we can get this information, from which sources? I don't know the links. The internet, but what links we should mention?
Well, I think IPAS will have a central database of everyone who's been accommodated in the various temporary accommodation around the country, and they'll also have the list of people who've pledged accommodation and where the accommodation is viable, and they'll do a matching process themselves, so they'll get in contact with people if something like that becomes available. I would say it's only going to, in terms of the pledges that we have, it probably won't accommodate everyone that's in temporary accommodation at the moment, only a proportion of them.
And is it easy to rent a place? For now we just came, and we have not many money with us, and right now we receive our welfare, thanks God, and we are able to save it and for the future reasons, for renting. And the point is how to search for the apartments and how to organize this in the future.
Sure, no, I understand, but just to assure you, when you're here, you will have accommodation available to you. I understand you might want to move on to something else.
Not now, when we have the limit of living here, just after that.
Okay.
We are curious.
Okay, right, fair enough.
No, I just wanted to add that some people asking about these opportunities, especially English speaking, about integration and how Irish society attitude toward this will to become a part of society and to integrate and to stay here. Is it general possible, and what's the...
Well, I've worked in the area of migrant integration for almost 20 years, and I have never seen such an open and widespread public response and openness to people coming into the country before. So I think there's lots of opportunities in every locality around the country to become a part of that community and feel a part of that community, and if you feel the need to make it your home as well. Obviously, your hearts are still at home, but if the situation changes over there and you make the decision that here is to be, yeah, of course. Yeah.
On the side of from this, I used to work as an air traffic controller in my country at the Odessa airport, and I'm curious to obtain a job as an air traffic controller here. Is it possible? How do you think?
Wow. Well, all I can say is we certainly need more staff in the airports anyway. As regards air traffic controllers, I'm not sure, but yes.
But anyway, is it possible that you could to get this information and somehow influence on me?
Well, there is an airport in my constituency. I'll see what. Very good.
I'm really grateful.
You're very welcome.
Despite from this, I want to send to Dempsey family, Jody and Fergal, as they treated us in their restaurant wild and native. On Sunday, and they prepared for us an Ukrainian cuisine, and they offered all Dempsey hotel to their restaurant and treated us with Ukrainian cuisine, and they were so lovely. So thanks to.
Where is this restaurant?
It's in Rosslare.
Yes.
People were very supportive.
This is an example.
Okay, that's great to hear.
When I say this, what your government have done, and I'm not politically affiliated to anyone, right? And I know we have lots of problems in this country, but what we have done by opening the doors to these people will be remembered in history. Because not every country is as active and as quick as what we're doing. So I would compliment you, and I would say fair done, well done, and keep it up, because if you don't allow it, we can't facilitate it. And I would say that it's coming from everybody. Like I said, I have relations in other countries, and they are so proud to be Irish. And I'm proud because of it. So I thank your government for that.
Thank you.
Support point of view.
Yeah.
I know it's not quite under the SICAP umbrella, but
Mental health is under.
is it okay? Good. So is that something that, especially from the trauma support piece, so it may not be the long-term psychological supports, but everybody coming into the country, I would feel should at least have a brief intervention in terms of seeing how they are, and then that reference point onwards if they require additional supports. Do we have any system like that in place? Because the trauma that these guys have gone through and everybody that's arriving here is.
Well, the HSE, I suppose, is the obvious initial point of contact. I think Brian made a good point to me earlier on as well. There should be training for community groups in terms of dealing with people who've
like a critical illness stress management type of a thing, that type of intervention.
Yeah, but no, I hear you. It should be on the HSE side of things.
Okay.
I've no doubt they're doing something on that. Whether they're reaching everyone immediately when they need it, that's a different question. But
could you check in on that? That's it, just to see. And it's at the point of entry. We just need to start it there. Okay. Thank you.
Just kind of want to follow on from John more so that just we can't say how proud we are of the volunteerism across the county. The fact that the reaction was so amazing from people. We've had in excess of about 130 wanting to volunteer down in Rosslare in the port, which is something that facilitates a little bit of dignity for people as they're coming back in when they mightn't have anything on their backs. And then like Hopeless, there's 44 people have now been situated in opportunities up there, from drivers to befrienders to ambassadors. Like it doesn't matter how rural the area is, the help is there, but it's just the resources that need to back it. And we thank you as well in particular because you've released funds for us to be able to be resourced adequately now to help look after the groups and facilitate kind of some volunteer management on the ground. But it's been phenomenal. Like we can't explain it. Like I suppose we weren't here, we didn't exist as a centre and full service at the start of COVID. We've existed at the start of this, and I think the difference speaks for itself that like we can all band together.
Yesterday, I'm going to say poor Eva yesterday, right? Sandra ran a drop-in for Wexford Town
Nobody
families.
anticipated the numbers.
And we actually had to kick people out. We had to put 8 on. We had to put 8 on security on the door. We were inundated. We have to move it next week. Like Jane rang me, I said, I know we need a bigger building. Absolutely. Because people want information, they want accurate information. And it was just, and John made a point last night when we had we network regularly with all the groups on Zoom. One thing it's useful for us. And John made a point, people want accurate information. They actually don't really want the cuppa and the chat.
Yeah.
We want that.
And that's what we've seen here. We've just seen it. That's exactly what
It's the culture.
Art
I
and
think
Marina
it's
said.
the
Yeah.
cultural. As I said, from my other half is Lithuanian. Direct people. They want it.
Yeah.
They will open their doors, they will sit down and have cups of tea, but they need the information and they want it direct. And I think one of the points was made, I know I spoke to a Ukrainian community in Waterford, and they talked about that they had people giving talks to the Irish volunteers and to the Ukrainian about the little cultural differences that are there. Because there's a lot of similarities, but I mean there is differences. So something like that where it's kind of an intro that we kind of get to know how we think, because what we might think is an insult may not be, and what they, vice versa. It's just to get used to everything, you know.
And Minister, I know you've seen it, but just as somebody who is one of the founding board members of the Volunteer Centre, the work that's been done by both groups, everybody within Wexford Local Development Volunteer Centre, is immense.
Yeah. No, and
It's incredible. I know you've seen it, but just
that's one
from
of the
my own
reasons
point of view,
we're
I'm just going to acknowledge that.
And we
It's
all
immense.
have the day jobs too, like Daffodil Day.
No,
It's the hope and dream.
it's incredible. What all of them have been doing is incredible.
And I'm here to just formally acknowledge that as well. We've been, I haven't been down here the last 5-6 weeks, but we've been keeping an eye on what's been going on. So just to thank everyone for your efforts. It's been exceptional, and you're in a unique position here, obviously, as well with the port. So we appreciate that.
And we'll facilitate Ukrainians volunteers. We spoke about it last night at our board meeting that we want to come up with some kind of projects with the environmental groups in the areas for Ukrainians to get involved in the local communities, because one of our board members who's Polish was telling us about in the refugee camps they're going out and clearing the forests and cleaning up in their way to say thank you and give back and become part of the community. So we're going to take a lesson and a leaf out of their books and try and initiate the same.
Very good.
Yeah.
Sounds interesting.
Just to sum up, 90% of residents here in Denby Hotel, they don't know English. And the key point is they want to become the part of society of Ireland. They love Ireland really. And most of them, they want to stay here for a longer time, if it's possible, just for the future. And like from our side, we need to know English and to able to speak to people, to communicate. And further, after we start attending English courses, we will start working. And afterwards, we will start searching for renting an apartment. So far, we don't know how to do that, but in the future, while we are living here and while we are communicating with people, we will become aware of the different sites, websites, and how to deal with this. So these are our steps of integration so far.
I think you'll find your way.
Yeah.
But there are groups here that will assist you along the way. The Trio Centre as well, I think, will be important.
Centers, websites, really lots of materials for now, and we try to make this bridge between us through groups, chats, bots to collect information, questions. So we're also trying to help, and we're ready to work as a team together. Yeah.
Great.
There's a telegram.
From River Chapel community, people who stay, they say big thanks for big welcome and everything help. And the same first question just with the English lessons. And not only they prefer in the area, because we have loads like in River Chapel, loads in Gorey, but they can't drive to Gorey from River Chapel, and even morning time, because most of the girls with the kids in the school, or like that's difficult as well. And another question, I find this problem because I help loads people with the PPS and everything, these documents, and you can't find these yellow cards. But they arrived, and now they give it in airport or in Roslea, the yellow card, like permission for the year.
It's not happening
It's a
in
temporary
Rosslare.
projection.
It's not happening. It didn't happen in Rosslare. It is now since the new set, but you can't go backwards through immigration.
Okay.
So people have to go from Wexford to Dublin. Now today,
But not just from Wexford, even they live so far, they have to, just what I know from immigration officer in Gorey, she said they're not allowed to give it locally, you have to come back in airport. It's like too hard and difficult. Maybe easiest will be like
Take that
every
one away
immigration.
anyway.
I think we've had a few temporary solutions, like Emily today, or Enid.
Yeah.
Jeez, where are you? There are
There's
52
52 gone to Wexford Garda station today, and they're getting processed.
and that's only favour the guards are doing,
And
because
that's,
they have a day off, not a day, because
Extra.
the extra day,
And
because the
that's from the
events are
Hunters,
cancelled.
that's from the Hunters village.
Okay.
So there's a
They have the letters, they have the initial letters, and they want to get
No,
the
they
numbers.
didn't have
They
anything.
have
No.
their PPS numbers and they have their claims almost sorted, but they didn't have
The permission to remain.
permission to
You
remain.
see, they weren't doing it in
Because
the
they
port.
came- Yeah, they came
But-
in kind of 3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Okay.
there is a few people out in the community
In
who
all
haven't.
people in River Chapel, they don't
Yeah.
have it.
Yeah, so their
Because
only
I
option is
was,
to go.
I was in everywhere in social,
Yeah.
in immigration officer, and
Yeah.
still didn't find it.
The
It
only
is
option is
sorted,
go to
still
Cork
doing it.
Street or the airport.
Yeah, Cork Street Airport or Limerick.
Or Limerick or
Street
Cork.
centres, but that is going.
It's an issue. But
There's no
that's
transport.
again, my car is not fit everyone, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we've had it all over the
Sorry,
place
Minister,
now.
our, well, people in the hook, the residents in the hook are terrified that if they don't have it, they won't be allowed to stay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
our understanding was when they have their PPS number, that should take that fear away from them, but they don't know that.
Yeah, no, I mean, they'll be fine, and I know that's only me saying that now, they need to see something concrete, but my understanding is that the processes for getting them cards are going to be expanded as well.
Yeah.
And, you know, authorities know where people are as well in terms of being able to follow through with them and
Okay,
get
that's
back
really
onto
good
it.
to hear. I can feed that back to
Yeah.
them.
Sorry to clarify, what is the name of the card that you're speaking of?
Well, it's essentially evidence of your temporary protection status here.
It's commonly known as the yellow paper.
Yellow paper.
Yellow paper.
Everybody calls it the yellow paper.
Everyone calls
I
it
don't know
the
what it's
yellow
officially
paper.
called, but it's a yellow
This
paper.
number, reference number of temporary residents.
Yeah. Suzanne?
Yeah, just on the communication piece, if I could go back to it, Minister, and I know you're saying that there's going to be a structure for iPass. It's absolutely essential that that's 24/7 because in Enniscorthy, both large groups arrived on a Friday night. So it's no good if there's no services around until Monday and the volunteers on the ground have no information.
Yeah, no, I understand. I suppose people, they're probably coming from Dublin Airport because a lot of flights were coming in quite late, and they needed to give them shelter for the night, but I understand
Yeah, I
there's
mean,
a
if they
disconnect there.
joined a piece somewhere that, well, here's your contact if you're dropping a bus in Enniscorthy.
Yeah. There
can't
should be
too
a
complicated.
communication when the bus leaves Dublin Airport to somebody here.
Yeah.
So we're under